Hello and welcome to the Sofa Rehab YouTube channel. This is a product walkthrough video for the KDLI26A Lithium-Ion battery for electric recliners. So let's get into the unboxing of the battery. So it arrives in a white sturdy box like so. This is the KD electrical battery. We're going to pop the specifications up on the screen here so you can refer back to those at any point. However, when you do purchase the battery, there are a specification panel on the back to refer back to at any point. Brand KD Electrical. Type Lithium-Ion battery for electric recliners. Model KDLI26A. Country of origin China. Dimensions of the battery: 17.5 centimeters long, 9 centimeters wide, 5 centimeters deep. Has a cable on one side of approximately 11 centimeters long, and you will find male and female 2-pin connections at either end. The nominal voltage capacity of this battery is DC 25.2 volts. The storage capacity is 2,600 milliamp hours and 65.52 watt hours. That is a medium-sized electric recliner battery. The charge voltage current is 20 volts through to 29.4 volts and 0.5 amp maximum. That means if your AC-DC transformer or adapter at home has an output of 20 volts through to 29.4 volts and 0.5 amp output maximum and 2-pin connections, it will recharge this battery. The maximum rated current of this battery is 3 amps. So if your electric recliner at home requires 3 amps or less to power it, this battery is compatible. Duty cycle is 2 minutes on, 18 minutes off. It has a built-in battery management system called the BMS. That protects against overcharging, over discharging and short circuit protection. So that's a great feature for a battery to have that. Cycle count is between 200 and 250 cycles per charge from this battery, but please do refer back to other videos on our YouTube channel where we break down the features of your recliner and how they affect the cycle count you'll get out of a battery charge. So please do refer back to those videos to understand how your recliner will perform with this battery as to whether you will get 200 and 250 reclines or less per charge. Recharging: the battery manufacturer recommends recharging this battery a minimum every 3 months. We recommend actually between 6 and 8 weeks is the optimum time to recharge this if you don't reach the recharge point from normal use. So during normal use you will be alerted to recharging from the audible beep from the battery. It will give you a high-pitched beep to let you know to recharge it. This is for interior use only. Service life of the battery is approximately 3 to 5 years in optimum condition, somewhere between 300 and 500 full recharges of this battery if you follow the manufacturing specifications and details on charging. Comes with a 12-month manufacturing warranty. Okay, let's get into some of the features of this battery. You may be watching this video because you're looking to upgrade from a traditional AC-DC transformer power supply for your recliner to a cord-free battery and wondering if this battery is compatible and suitable option for you. So we're going to run through some of the features, but you also may be watching this video because you have a previous model of the KD battery that has the 6-pin connection. So that's the KDDY022-2600 battery. That one had a 6-pin connection, and if you were watching in Australia or New Zealand, that was likely fitted into your Nick Scali or Freedom or Plush Lounge at some point and requiring 6-pin connections, and this is the newer model with 2-pin connections, and you would need to watch further on in this video where we explain about how you need to change not only the battery but the charger and the charging port. So we'll show you those up on the screen here so you can see what your battery has and what you need to change to make this battery compatible with your recliner. Okay, so some of the features of this battery: it has an LED indicator on here. This tells you about the current status of the battery. So green means fully charged, flashing orange means is that you're charging it, and red means that the battery has dispensed all its charge. As a input with a male 2-pin connection here, so indicated with a yellow sticker. It has the blue sticker here for the output with the female 2-pin connection here and a retaining clasp on the top here to securely connect it. It has a warning on here about telling you to recharge this battery pack every 3 months. that's what the battery manufacturer recommends. On the reverse of the battery, you can see the specifications here, so you can refer back to those. It also has the mounting plates here. The screws are not supplied, but if you want to put this battery on the floor, you don't need screws. If you want to secure this battery underneath and out of view, you would need to supply 4 screws, but also bear in mind about recharging of the battery. So other features of this high quality battery are the battery management system that we've already referred back to in the video, the mounting points, the LED charge indicator, the retaining clip here, and the nice slimline battery where it can slot underneath your recliner nice and easily and out of the way if required. Okay, so how do you connect the battery to the recliner? What does it look like, and how do you recharge the battery when it's connected? So we're going to run through that in this part of the video. So we do have a mock-up here of a basic recliner setup. So your recliner at home will have these items or similar items inside the recliner that are operating the recliner when you press the buttons or the remote control, cup holder, etc. on your recliner. You may well have more than one actuator. You may have a different remote control, cup holder, switches, etc. You will have an AC/DC transformer or an adapter like this, or a plug into the back of the recliner, but fundamentally you'll have the same kind of setup as this inside your recliner. So we're going to show you how to connect the battery to this setup, but if you do want to see how the battery connects to a real recliner in a real living room situation, please do check back on the YouTube channel where we do have other videos showing you how to set up the battery to a real recliner in a real living room. Okay, so back into this setup here. How does this work? So currently a basic recliner is powered via an AC/DC transformer like this, or an adapter like this, or a kettle plug into the back of the arm. They're basically all doing the same function. They're providing the power from the room wall socket into the back of the recliner via a series of cables and a box to transform the power down to suit the electronics of the recliner, to provide that power via a connection from the wall socket, which is great if your recliner is located in close proximity to that wall point. But if it's not, and you want to have the lounge in the middle of the room with no cord showing, or it's not possible to reach the power point in the room because you have cables trailing across the floor, which can become a trip hazard and unsightly to look at, a battery becomes a great option to connect the recliner system cordlessly to the battery, and therefore run the lounge cord free in the middle of a living room. So how does that happen? So basically, you need to disconnect the AC/DC transformer, adapter or kettle plug from the recliner, and that happens by lifting the retaining clasp on the 2 connections here between the transformer and the recliner. You may have this cable coming out the back of the recliner, or you may have a plug socket in the back of the arm or at the back of the seat. You basically just disconnect the male and female connection like so. So easy to disconnect the transformer from the recliner. So you don't need that until recharging. Grab your battery. So the battery has a yellow and blue label. Yellow is for charging, so that is the input, and blue is for output to provide the power to the recliner. So grab the blue end and the cable with the female 2-pin plug, and basically you just connect the two plugs. You line up the male and female plug like this, push them together, close the retaining clasp, and that is your connection made. The battery is now connected to your recliner. You don't need to be an electrician, you don't need any experience or no tools. It's as simple as push together, plug and play. Now the battery will be running this recliner. So this is simulating the footrest opening and closing on the recliner. So you may be pressing buttons on the side of the arm or a cup holder, etc., but basically doing the same feature. This battery is now operating this recliner virtually cord free. So that's how the battery connects to the recliner. Now when this battery needs recharging, it's going to alert you to a high-pitched beep. Once that happens, you need to connect your original AC/DC transformer, adapter or kettle plug back into the recliner. So you grab your original AC/DC transformer like so, you get the output cable coming from the transformer, and you see the yellow plug on the battery here has the male 2-pin connection in here. You just align the 2 plugs together and push them in. That is the battery and the transformer connected. You plug your AC/DC transformer into the wall socket. That provides the power to the battery until recharging is complete, which can be somewhere between 3 and 6 hours depending on the age of the battery, the status of the battery and the transformer output rating. A question we often get: can you run the transformer and the power supply battery together as one complete unit, so in line? So the AC/DC transformer is connected to the wall socket, turned on through the battery into the recliner. Can that be done as an emergency backup inline system? The answer to that is yes, you can. The battery can be used as an emergency backup only. So basically, once the battery is charged, the battery no longer accepts charge from the transformer, and the transformer provides the power to the recliner. So that happens because of the battery management system. You cannot overcharge this battery. So once battery is complete charge, the power supply that is providing the power goes through the battery into the recliner until such point that you disconnect the transformer from the battery. The battery will just be used as a pass-through device, and you can run it as an emergency backup. So great for people that rely on the chair to be used in all situations like power cuts, etc. When the power goes out, how will the recliner work if there's no power coming from the transformer? Well, the battery will kick in because it's fully charged. So you can either run it as an inline system, or you can run it cord free like so. So you can run the battery by itself as a standalone product, or you can run it in line with the power supply into the main socket as an emergency backup system. So this is the system on how you connect the battery to the recliner. Well, I hope you're enjoying this video so far on the KDLI26A Lithium-Ion battery. If you haven't done already, please do like and subscribe to our channel. It does help us reach more like-minded people looking for battery information. So this part of the video is more directed at Nick Scarley, Plush and Freedom customers in New Zealand and Australia, and maybe other people around the world that are running the same system as those companies did. So if you have the old 6-pin battery that we're putting up a picture of here, this battery is the KDDY022-2600 battery. That's been discontinued and replaced with the KDLI26A lithium-ion battery with a 2-pin connection. So if you have that 6-pin connection, you need the 2-pin connections, but it's not a matter of just popping the battery in and job done. You do need to change some other parts. So let's run through what you need to change. So in your Plush, Nick Scarley or Freedom Lounge, you will likely have a round charging point like this in the back of the arm, the back of the seat, or the back of the backrest, and that would be where you would charge your battery via the round DC plug like so. You would normally plug that into the round hole, plug your small charger into the power point and charge the battery that way. On the end of the charger here is a 6-pin connection that would normally plug into your battery like so, and that would create the charge for the battery to be cord free once you disconnect the power supply. This system has been discontinued, so the 6-pin connection is no longer available. It is now being replaced with the 2-pin connection. So what do you need to know and what do you need to change? So basically you will buy the KDLI26A lithium-ion battery with a 2-pin connection, but you will also need to change your charging point at the back of the arm. So this is the same shape and dimensions of the previous round version that you have. So compatibility is fine for the shape. It will fit in the same hole. It has an on-off switch and a 2-pin connection, and the part number for this is KDH058A-001. We'll pop a link on our video on where to purchase it from our website, but you will need to replace that part because it has the 2-pin connections, and you also need to replace the charger for the KDDY008F. This is the adapter that's going to charge your battery now, or an AC/DC transformer as well. So 2 of those will charge it, but I'll show you how that setup works now. So basically recharging happens via the male and female plug. They just connect into each other like so. So that's how that happens. And then on here now you'll notice your previous model only had 1 6-pin plug. It now has 3 plugs on the new charging port. So how do these work? So they're color coded, which is great. So blue goes to blue. You match the blue plug together, connect them together, push together, close the retaining clasp. Grab the yellow, plug it into the yellow. Okay, so that just goes into there like so. So that's the battery connected, and then you're left with a red one which you wouldn't have had previously. So the red one goes to the actuator, which is the motor underneath that we showed you previously in the video, opening and closing. So that connects to your actuator now. So that creates the circuit for the battery to be compatible with the previous model of the 6-pin KDDY022-2600 battery. This is how you replace that system with the 2-pin KDLI26A battery. If you do have any other questions, please reach out in the comment section. We'll reply to any questions you have concerning that setup and how that happens. But if you want to purchase this battery or the AC/DC adapter charging port, visit sofarehab.com.au, where you can purchase all your batteries, connections and plugs and adapters.